for adventure, halfway around the world, with friends all around me, every boy and every girl. I've worked hard and waited so long, and now I'm in it for the win. When I touch down in London, that's when my journey begins. So here I go, I won't look back. The choice is mine to be the best. The time is now to make all these dreams last forever. So here I go, I won't look back. The choice is mine to be the best. The time is now to make all these dreams last forever. Forever BEO. Forever BEO. There's so much to do there. I have nothing left to fear. I can't stop thinking about the future. I see my path is so clear. So here I go, I won't look back. The choice is mine to be the best. The time is now to make all these dreams last forever. So here I go, I won't look back. The choice is mine to be the best. The time is now to make all these dreams last forever. Forever BEO. Forever BEO. Forever BEO.
Okay, great everyone. Thank you once again for joining us for this session. I'd like to introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. My name is Michelle Cripps and I am one of the managers here at BO World. We're very excited you could make it today, but before we begin the presentation, I'd like to introduce to you to our two speakers for today's talk. So with us today is Melvina Touche and Yolanda Herrera. If you have any questions at the end of the talk, please feel free to write them in the chat box. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Melvina's background. Melvi has 16 years teaching experience, and throughout her career, she has volunteered to help design school curriculums based on many different learning strategies. She has also helped design student communities for schools, and she has participated as a group leader for 4 years in BEO, bringing her students to do very well in the competitions. For her, it is a great priority to help students with economic and learning difficulties to fight for their dreams and believe that they can come true. Melvina is currently working as a BEO representative for her country and El Salvador. And we also have with us Yolanda Herrera. Yolanda was born in Belize, but she has been living in Cancun, Mexico for the past 37 years. She started her teaching career as a teacher for English as a second language in Belize. After she moved to Mexico, she obtained a certification for a second language teacher from Cambridge. Currently, she is a language coordinator for Centro Educativo Diuni, where she has been working for the past 18 years. Diuni has participated in the BEO program since 2012, making this an important highlight in the school's community. So without further introduction, I shall pass over the microphone to you girls. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Okay, as you said, my name is Yolanda, and I've been working here at Diuni for the last 18 years. And our topic today is very interesting because parents are key players in promoting and carrying out a good competition. If you have the parents on your side, then everything will flow perfectly. And there are quite a few things I want to share with you today that has worked for me. So I humbly share my experience and some of the things I have done with you. Maybe they work for you, or maybe you can adopt them, okay? First of all, before I even start working with the student, what I do is I normally go over the guidelines like very thoroughly, make sure I understand everything perfectly before I start working with the students so that they know exactly where we want to go and how we will do that, okay? I also, one of the key things is even before I start working with them, I go over the guidelines and then I make sure that we work as a team. They get to know each other so that we become a team, a very strong team. We go as the unit team, not as first graders or second graders. We make sure that everybody gets to know each other, and so that we can work fluently. One of the things that I realized at the beginning was that I started working like in the afternoons after class. The students stayed, but tell you the truth, it's very tiring. Students have been at school from 7 o'clock in the morning, so it didn't work well. So what I talked to the parents and we decided that we were going to try Saturday mornings. So we started working from 8 to 12, which worked perfectly because, you know, they're fresh in the morning and we can get ahead like that. So whenever we get the topic, as soon as we get our topic, we start working Saturdays. Okay, and what I try to do always is to accommodate my students. I let them choose what they want to participate in. The only reservation that I have is like for the debate, because we do all this process and after that I decide who is going to take part. But in the other competitions, I allow all the students to choose for themselves what they want to do, and I try to accommodate them, make sure that they are where they want to be. And then I get copies of the guidelines so that they take it home and they share it with their parents. So from day one, they get their parents involved. And another step that I take is, for example, if any of the parents know anything about the topic that are in the guideline, for example, if it's about talking about environment or clean energies or something like that, then I get the parents to come and give them a talk, or to refer someone to come and give them a talk on the topic. So parents are always involved, and that helps a lot. Another thing that we do is we get parents to start fundraisers, like for example, we have bake sales, we have whenever like 16th of September, we have academies at school and they sell stuff and they get your pocket money from there. Okay, so that's one of the highlights that we have, because they're always ready to pitch in and do some of the work. Another thing is I get other students to help. For example, XBO students who have participated. I get them to start to get involved with us. Not only the students who are traveling, but also the students at school get involved. Because what we do is normally we get the guidelines, we start working with the team that is going to represent us in England. But what we do is in school, we do the same activities. For example, if we are going to promote a country, we do that in one group and another country in another group, and then everybody listens to the presentations. So everybody gets prepared, and after they present, they get feedback from the different groups. So this helps a lot. This helps them to prepare very well. So we implement all the activities that we get in our school. Can we have the next slide, please? In our school. Okay. The fundraisers. Okay. We have students share and present your work with the school community. So we start in school, they share what they're doing. All the other students participate somehow. We get volunteers to come. And then we do presentations in all the school. For example, maybe in 5th grade or in 4th grade, they do their presentations and they get feedback from the other students. Can I have the other one, please? Okay, thank you. Okay, most of the advantage of having the parents with you throughout the whole experience is that you become like a close-knit family before you go. We start working, I don't know, maybe October, November, and we don't leave until March, April. So what happens is that we develop some kind of unity, and parents get to trust my decisions. Okay, I allow them to participate in everything. Sometimes they come and help on Saturdays to check pronunciation of the students. They help me, especially what I need for the parents is like the international night. I completely leave that to the parents to organize it. And last year, or 2019, for example, the parents decided that why not, instead of taking candy as we always did before for our international night, why don't we take souvenirs that are made in Mexico, things made in Mexico. And that was a great idea. And we didn't just go and buy them. We had an outing with the parents. We went to this community, local community, where they produce the things. We saw how they make all these things, and then we bought from them and took it for our international night. So that means that the parents are always involved. And another thing that I leave for the parents are, like, for example, the costumes. I allow them to, I just give them the name of the country, and they are the ones that look at the different costumes in the country, and they find the tailors or whoever is going to do the costume for us, and they really enjoy all these things. So parents are really key to having a successful trip, because after all this, you are always in constant communication, and they become trusting. They trust that you're going to take care of their kids. They know what you're doing. They get involved in the presentations. And after we have done all these things, just before we leave, what I normally do is I invite the parents to a university. For example, here in Cancun, we have Anáhuac University. We take all the students there as if they were participating in all the events in BEO. So from wearing the uniform, which they're not used to, because if you realize where we live in Cancun, we do not have like a coat and trousers. What we wear is shorts and a t-shirt to school. So they are a bit uncomfortable with wearing a coat and trousers. So what we do is when we go to university, they have to wear everything, complete outfit as if they were in England. And that helps a lot because whatever, it becomes more comfortable for them the next time they wear it. And they present in front of um, many students at the university and teachers and their parents. They do all the presentation, even they play the song, everything. And when they're done, the university students fill out a questionnaire with some questions, and that helps us as feedback. So we go back to school, I read the feedback with them, and then we change things that we need to change, or reorganize whatever we need to, or reorganize whatever. We take into consideration everything that the university students tell us about our presentations. So that's a really big part, and that helps a lot. The parents are always there. I don't have that many meetings per se, like coming to school and I have the first meeting, then everything is through emails and through the kids, and maybe in total, I will have 3 meetings with the parents. And I just keep them posted on what we're doing. If I need some help, maybe a Saturday I'm not able to come, but there's this parent who speaks perfect English, and she would just come and practice with them their parts, and that's the way we work it in school, and it's been very nice. So we involve the parents up to the last minute in traveling, everything, and they get so excited, because day by day they see what is happening. We're getting prepared. We already have this. We need this, and let me get that for you. And it's as if they're traveling with us, So they are really excited to participate.
Yeah, I do understand what you're saying here with involving the parents, and maybe here we might also take from you the idea that you really take in consideration their collaboration when you're working with the parents. The idea we have here is for the student to feel that every aspect around them before they leave the country is covered. So of course they need to be covered at home, they need to be covered in school. So if we as teachers work together with the parents, then that embraces the student in every way for them to feel that they're taken care of. Because for the students, it can be a great challenge and a great deal to be out of their homes and represent not only their schools, but their delegations representing their country as well. So this makes it for them, especially closer to the date. At the beginning, it's all, yay, let's get ready for this, it's gonna be awesome. But 2 or 3 months before the competition, they are struggling, mixed feelings, and they might want to have everything under control. And having parents as part of the team with you, as you mentioned, which I think these amazing aspects you do with your parents, they would be helping you with the international night. They would be helping you if you're not attending a meeting. They can take over and help as well. And that's wonderful. In my case, I did basically most of your ideas. I even had parents who would volunteer. I'm an expert in, tourism, so I'm gonna help with Country Spotlight. I'm an expert in public speaking. I work in the media or this and the other, and they would like to just take control of that team and work with you in the whole preparation of your team. It's very important what you mentioned of having the parent understand that they are part of it, and they even feel very confident to be there with you, and they feel flattered that they're considered to prepare students from your school. I like it when you mentioned the idea that, well, it's not even an idea now, it's a reality that for your school, for Diuni School, it is a community environment. When you have the BEO team selected, everybody would be involved. That is pretty much amazing. And in my experience, We did exactly the same when you mentioned the fundraisers. We did exactly the same. Have students, okay, so you know what, guys, you want to take a little extra money. We know your parents are giving you some. We know they're doing that, but why don't you work together and come up with some idea to, you know, do a fundraiser? And that's where parents jump in and they just, let's do a bingo night, let's do a movie night, let's just sell stuff in school, a bakery, whatever they want, they just come up with ideas. And for us, and let me say this to everyone in this meeting, for us as teachers, it's a great burden taken off our shoulders when we have the parents involved, because they are part of it and they feel it and they make you feel comfortable by doing so. So, and then you mentioned also that it is important not only to have them involved in all the fun part, but as well it's very important to have them be involved in the academics, in the tough part. Having them be involved in the preparation, for example, for the international night. They need to have the parents. And you mentioned, as we spoke before this meeting and we were getting ready for it, well, you mentioned how your parents would just deal with it and do it. That would be like their assigned homework for them to create. And basically you're just an observer and maybe the judge of it, you might say. And that's very important for your team, because then you're taking a very solid group and maybe that is your experience when you're already in London. What your team looks like is very solid, very complete, because you have every little aspect covered. And one thing I do as well, for all of you to maybe want to consider in your notes, is I really have students talk everything with their parents, and then ask, you know, as a student, ask their parents, what do they think of what they're doing? Get their advice, get their communication, to be informed of every single part. For example, if one of your students is doing, you know, you have to do at least 2 competitions and then tops 5, and maybe you have this star 2 student who's involved in 5 of the competitions already, then this student might need a lot of support, especially on handling their stress. That's where you can talk to the parents and they can give talks to the team as well. And I know I get you when you say it's not about meeting with the parents all the time and having, you know, many parents meetings for them to come to school and gather them. It's not even like that. It's just being involved as they wish to participate. You might have some parents who are going to be totally involved, and you might have other parents who might be a little bit more away due to their, you know, different agendas and their work and businesses, whatever they're involved, they might not have time, but at least you told them and they feel they're asked and involved. So I think this is, and I learned that from our conversation this week, that what you do is give everyone, not only the parents, not only your team participating, but the whole school community, a part in the whole BEO experience. They are part of it. And I bet, you tell me now, don't they, when they come back from London, don't they feel, oh, the school feels that I helped, I was part of it, your success is mine. And I am aware you have always been either semifinals and finals for all the amount of years since 2012 that you've been participating. And see, this is why your team is successful. And I consider the same. In my experience, shorter experience as a BEO teacher, I did only 4 years traveling with my students. And because I kind of cope and do the same in a certain way, same situation, we were able to be semifinals and finals only. And that makes a very solid team. And of course, you tell me your experience a little bit of how it works when you're back home. Talk us a little bit about that.
Okay, see, the thing is that we have the parents all the time following what we're doing. And when we go abroad, they know I will take care of the kids. Because all the work we do here, before we go, I do not pressure them. When we get, as soon as we set foot in England, I am like their mom. I mean, I'm there for them to help them. I'm not a teacher anymore. Okay, whatever I had to teach them or whatever I had to learn, they learned it, the months of preparation. So now we're ready to have our presentations. and to enjoy yourselves, because the two things go hand in hand. And one of the important things that I make sure you understand is we are going to compete, but it doesn't mean that we are going to be enemies of the other people who are competing, okay?
Yes.
This competition is for us to show what we know, to learn from the others, because we always learn different things, to learn from the other team, from the other schools,
Exactly.
and to really enjoy what we did, all the preparation that we did. And if somebody at the precise moment of presenting forgets or doesn't know what to say, help him out. Okay, that's why you're a team. It doesn't mean that he does his part. We collaborate. So if the person is stuck, help him out. So everybody learns everything. So when I'm doing the preparation, I don't separate them like, you are going to do country, you are going to do, everybody does everything. So when we do country, everybody investigates, everybody knows. So if somebody gets sick, anybody can just substitute that person. It's very easy. And when we come back, we quantify what we learned. How? By taking the diagnostic that TCC that offers. And when we come back, we do the certification. And then I can show the parents, you know, in quantities. Okay, so he was this level. And now the certification is a little bit higher, maybe not that much. Some of them do, but some of them don't, you know, go a lot higher. But that's one thing. And that's academic.
Yeah.
And they practice all their skills through investigation, reading, PowerPoint preparations, whatever. And this boosts their English level because they acquire language in a natural way. You know, it's language acquisition, totally. So that helps a lot. But the other part that the parents do appreciate a lot is their personal growth. They're away 15 days, they make their beds. Before we go, I ask the parents to teach them how to hang their uniforms in order not to be messy. They learn how to start the washing machine if they do have to wash their clothes when we're there. And all these things parents do love, because normally our teenagers nowadays don't do those things. But I tell them, I am taking them, but they have to take care of themselves also. They have to have their uniforms prepared, they have to wash maybe their clothes, they have to make their beds, you know. And so parents, it's growth all over. So I am a passionate advocate for BEO. I love the competition. I've been doing it since 2012. And sometimes when I'm in England, I say, okay, this is my last. I'm so tired, I'm not coming back. But 2 months later, when I'm home, when is the next BEO? So,
exactly.
So,
yeah, and then it's incredible how this the whole preparation becomes part of your life as well, because as you mentioned, we see the changes in our students. We see how they and you know, I even had comments from other people. You really that would say, as a teacher, it really looks like you live for this. It's amazing how you really put all your energy to it, and because we see the results and all you mentioned. One other thing we used to do, and I don't know if you do this, but we used to have the students gathered in school in an assembly and have them present for the community. Have them do their presentations before leaving to, you know, as a practice in front of a team, invite teachers. And that when they do that, the school gets to see all the hard work put together. And when they come back, these students say, they just come and talk to their peers about how everything they did was worth it, about how hard they worked and it paid off. And it's incredible how, as teachers, we just leave it with them. It's impossible not to get involved in engaging with them and having this passion. And as you mentioned, it's not the idea of saying, okay, you know what, if you don't win, then that's fine. It's not it. I mean, we can say that, but the idea is that, you know what, it doesn't even matter. The idea is for you to enjoy yourself, to take the best out of it, to do your best effort and shine and learn and prove yourself that you're capable of all these new things you had no idea you could do before. And that's very impressive to see when you come back where they actually did change, where they actually did grow, and you saw these changes in them. That is impressive. And one of the parts I like. And each year, parents are grateful with what you do. They tend to tell you, thank you for oh my God, my kids are so changed. I'm so impressed. Wow, it's, you know, you have all these comments from parents, compliments on how great everything was, even though maybe on the way you have encountered issues, difficulties, but they don't see that. Parents won't see that because they see the gift that they receive when they come back home. And that is very impressive when you get to that point. And I assume a lot of teachers that have not been part of BEO yet are here in this session. And it's maybe you're afraid. How am I going to tell my parents that I'm taking their kids across the ocean maybe, or to a different country, or to a different culture, or to a different time zone? How are they going to react? And it's all depending on how we teachers understand what parents might be looking for, that you're going to have those changes in your parents. But I know we can have certain issues, and in my experience I've had, and then we should know how to prevent. I'm going to share with all of you some issues. Parents can change from year to year. Each group of parents, they're going to be different. I've had parents who are so helpful that they're offering their homes to go meet there and do the meetings, so you won't be locked up in school, boring, and do something else and be so hospitable. And you have other parents who are so involved into the preparation, and it depends. But you do have certain parents that are not really understanding. And in my case, and you tell me if you have had issues as mine, but I'm going to just share one. So, you know, I used to have a mother. She was extremely loving for her kid, and in times you could feel she was overprotective. And she was literally just about to cry. I would, you know, like during the preparations, thinking of, I want my child to shine, but she doesn't know her part. She's struggling. She forgets. She's not prepared. And I had this mother just, you know, giving me all this information on her child. And what happens there is that her child would be afraid. That creates insecurity, right? She'll be not trying to do things better because she's afraid that she's already failing. And then what I did in that case, I told the mother that she had to come to our meetings, join the preparation, and just watch her girl from behind. Just not be there so on top and see her go. So she could see that it wasn't a situation where her child was not working well. It's just that the mother was there. And that freaked her out more than the rest of the people around. And I had to deal with that. And then when she saw her child just empowered, she was impressed. And sometimes we have to have our parents understand that it's a process. They are learning. They are probably afraid and scared. And then it's the best way to help them is just by, you know, a nice pat on their shoulder. You're doing amazing. Keep up the hard work, and you're going to do it even better. See, the way we say things, it's also important. And parents sometimes are very hard on their students. I don't know if you had any kind of issue on that might have happened, but for what I hear, since your parents are so involved, probably not as many, right?
Not really in that sense, that because they do respect my decisions after the academic part. I don't have that problem with the parents. Maybe the issue that I have mostly is that one of the biggest problems I do have is that our school is very small. We do not have that many students. So it's very difficult for me to have a team, put a team together, you know. That's one of the biggest issues, like getting out of 40 students where you have to take 10 or 15, you know, it's quite difficult. But apart from that, I think the whole community supports the idea, and now it's like, are you having BEO this year? Or, you know, I've had siblings that went to BEO like the first year. No, I have, just yesterday I had a meeting with one of the parents. He said, Becca is already in 6th grade, can you please take her? Because her brother was with you and he did so well. So I don't have that kind of difficulties with the parents, mostly that much. I mean, it's
it all depends. Yes, it depends on the environment. And as you mentioned, in your school, Diuni school, it's a community, it's an environmental and supported by the school, so it's more into that. Maybe for the first time in some of the attendees here, for their first time, they might encounter difficulties. But then again, through our talks, we have come up for all of you with some of the important aspects to keep in mind to solve issues with parents. And the first one would be that you immediately understand that you need to answer to parents' questions at all times. You need to be there for them, have them understand that you're there for them as well, and that all the questions they might have, they won't surprise you. You understand they're going to be maybe upset for certain aspects of the competitions, but then if you're there to answer their questions promptly, accurately, and then they will feel that you really understand what you're doing, right? That is very important. Another idea it's important to consider maybe here would be that you need to reassure parents that their students are going to be well taken care of, that you understand that you are responsible for traveling cross borders with the team, and that you are the first contact they will have. One of the ideas you can do here is, of course, you're going to be online for them into any chat media. They need to understand that everything is posted on the social media networks. Students themselves will be sharing pictures and all the participation, right? And I think these advices can help us do that. And of course, make them feel understood by saying, don't worry, I'm going to take photos of your kids at the airport saying goodbye, and then on the plane when they're sleeping, and then as soon as we get off the plane, pictures again, setting foot in London, and having, you will be practically the photographer sharing all the moments with the parents, because sometimes children don't. And everybody here who has ever been a teacher, children are too into everything. They forget about sharing pictures with parents, and they know, oh, mom, I didn't take pictures, or I forgot, right? And then that's part of it, right?
Yeah, one time I can remember, like the first year I teach the students, in those days we didn't have like the phones we have now. I mean, 2000 bucks since like so feels, but it's so far away in technology. And we had this house phone, and they said, here's a card for every student, and they can make your calls. So every day, well, the first 2 days, I think, guys, you need to call your parents, here's your card, here's the phone, let me show you how to use it. And after about the 4th day, one of the parents called me and said, Yola, none of the kids have called home. So I gathered them and I said, guys, what happened? You don't know how to use your cards? And they said, no, we don't have time. And then another day went by and they didn't call. And then it came to the time when I said, okay, today, this afternoon, I want you lined up here, one by one. You can go to that phone, you can call your parents. And one of them said, what should I tell them? I have no idea. Do whatever you want to say. It's like they weren't, so the parents were really happy because they said, okay, they don't miss home, you know, they're so active and have so many things to look forward to during the day that they don't go home, and we know they are in good hands. So that was like very nice. Now with the phone, with the cell phones, it's different. Mobile, everything you can get online in minutes. But 2012 was it.
No, definitely, and part of that is based on that students are so entertained with so much, all is new for them. And they have to wake up early in the morning, make their bed, right? Be ready for the presentations. They have new friends they want to go talk to. They're excited about everything, nervous about the competitions, all over the place, wanting to go on excursions all the time. So of course they might just be really distracted. And it's not that they don't miss home or that they don't miss their parents, because at night I used to have comments from my kids like, I miss my bed. I miss my comfy bed. Or I miss my pillow that I forgot to bring. Or I miss my puppy, right? They might have things, they might come in day 5. They're going to start missing home a little bit, but then they forget. They're just not there. They're too excited about everything. And then that's why we have to assure this to parents. And that will be a success. It will clean up any issue when the parent understands that you're there. You're right there next to them virtually, but you're there. And when they feel that, it gives the parents a lot of confidence that they're grateful that you are taking her kid on these kind of trips, that you are in charge. And they thank that a lot. And of course, your experience and mine, once we come back home, it's the first thing we get in the airport, like, thank you, they did amazing, I'm so happy. And it's incredible because of how the kids were prepared. And please do not misunderstand us in this topic when we say that all the that we help the kids and we help the parents, but all the effort done is 100% student effort. They work in the fundraisers, work with the parents, work with the teachers, work with the school. They prepare themselves. They learn so much, and this is what they have in return. It's like the gift to have everything work wonderfully. And I know in your experience, for what we have spoken and for what we have seen in your participation in our program, you have never encountered any difficulty because of the way you handle your parents, because of the way your school has created an environment around BEO where you are fully aware of all the aspects in it, and that everybody, you have volunteers that are there for help, you have students involved wanting to learn, and probably those students that are helping out are part of your next team for the next year. It happened to me. I had many kids involved helping out, and they would just be there just learning. And they would say, can I attend? I'm not going this year, but can I be in your meetings? And it'll be like a big yes, of course. And that way, next year, you'll be more prepared. And it's basically this whole community idea that you have created what makes it a success. In my personal experience, it happened the exact same way, at least with the parents, since the school I used to work for when we were participating had a different profile in order to have many different trips to many other events worldwide. So because of that, the school was divided into many activities at the same time. So it was difficult for the school to just focus on one, because in contrast with your school, it's a bigger school, 3 sections, students per level, or 4 in some cases. So because of the big community we had to build our own. And some things we did, and maybe this advice can help many of you in here, we would have bulletin boards around campus. Bulletin boards around, especially middle school and high school. And these bulletin boards, we would put pictures of the students from former years, the big picture in the center of the new team for the next year in the middle, and logos of BEO World and the BEO Olympics as well. And with a sign-up sheet and requirements. You can sign up, for example, if I would be doing it right now, I would have sign-up lists for 2021, a sign-up list for 2022, for students to come and just write their names and be on the team, and then you set a room where they can look for you. And basically with all these kind of ideas, and of course the whole bulletin board is not done by us teachers, it's totally done by your team participating, and the ones that want to do it former years, in the new years to come, and in former years as well. All these students would help out with this activity. And I think in order to do that, all you need is, as a teacher, to be willing to have parents support you and be involved in the whole process. I think you would advise the same, right?
sorry, and not be afraid. Don't be afraid. I mean, there's always a first time for something, you know. When I remember 2011 when I got the invitation, I went to the principal and I said, look at this, and I said, oh, this is so interesting. I wish to do this, and she said, do it. And I thought, really? Yeah, should I? And I just went to the meeting and I got the guidelines and then I got the parents and then suddenly I was there like in December or January and then it just hit me. Okay, Yolanda, you're having 13 kids to take to A&M next year. And then I realized, okay, this is big. I mean, and then I started like having doubts. How did I get into this? Oh, I'm so far deep into it. Is it going to work? So it's natural to have all those doubts, but rest assured that what I really like is that I've seen the development of BEO people behind all this, and I can guarantee you that anything you need on campus, you get it, or you have an answer immediately. It's not that, let me see, let me check. And for me, that makes it much, much easier. Like
yes, totally.
And everything is easy, and I can get back to my parents quickly, and I have solutions to whatever I need very quickly. And don't be afraid. I mean, you grow so much, not only your students. I totally enjoy learning about other countries, which I wouldn't have the opportunity if I didn't attend. You know, like I got Lithuania, and I said, "What is this? Where is it?" Get to know their culture. It's like traveling through listening to all the groups with your country. You know, so I said, don't be afraid. Just get into it. You do it the first time, and I guarantee you'll be hooked for life.
Yes, you're going to be in for a lifetime. And as you mentioned, you always tend to say, I'm not going to do it next year. I think I've done enough. But then here you are again, and you'll do it again and again, and you just can't help it because it's what you think. And then if you have someone take your place, you're just going to be on top of that person, supervising every single detail that is be done as you know it should be done, right? And that's basically what we want all of you to learn. And Yolanda and I have had a nice time talking to each other about this presentation. Just really, for all of you here, we have a lot of common things we do, and that's what has taken us to where we are, to love the competition, to have our kids succeed in it, not only during the event. It's not that what we mean, it's back home. They do a tremendous successful development for themselves. It's incredible, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking to you about it, Yolanda. It was incredible. Thank you. And I think, well, if there's nothing else on your behalf, we can say thank you for all of you to have been here with us. And I think, well, Michelle will be taking care of the questions if there are any. And Yolanda, it has been a pleasure working with you to prepare this presentation.
I know we worked like 3 days only, but it's as if we know each other for a long time. We've known each other for a long time. And teachers, please feel welcome to, if you need any advice, any help, whatever you enjoy. Okay, there is my email. Email me and I would gladly answer.
Thank you. Thank you, Yolanda, and thank you, Melvi, for such an insightful presentation.
A pleasure.
I think we can go away with many, many great tips on how to have a better relationship with our students' parents, who are a very big part of the experience in itself. So I think very, very good tips. Thank you again. I would like to open this space for everybody. If you have any questions or if you have any comments regarding the presentation, please feel free to raise your hand, or you can write the questions on the chat box. We have a few comments there. Alejandra Lopez says, thank you for the tips. I will definitely apply them. So that's great, very good. Silvia Cabral, great recommendations, thank you. So yeah, I think pretty much everyone is happy with the tips. if we don't have any more further questions or any comments, I would like to thank you once again. And thank you all for joining us. We still have a few other talks for the rest of today and tomorrow and Friday as well. So we will see you there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for your nice comments. I had a chance to read them. Thank you so much, and we're here to help in anything we can. A great pleasure.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.